Hello and welcome to the podcast. Thank you so much for joining me. As always, I'll get you to introduce yourself and then we will crack on.
Okay, so I am Synta. I am an acupuncturist and naturopath at Unique You Health. I am 34 years old and my wife Amy and I have got twin 11-month-old boys, Arlo and Atreus.
Yeah, they're so cute. They're so cute. So busy.
So busy, so active now as well.
Yes. Cool. Alrighty. So that's really what your story is about. And I think you're the only person who I've ever heard of. You know, sometimes you'll hear someone who knows someone. I've never heard of anyone who's had your experience. Yeah. So I think that this is going to be so eye-opening to so many different women who just have never even known that this was an option.
Yeah, definitely. Well, hopefully.
No, it definitely will be. It definitely will be. I'm excited. I've already told some people that you were coming on to discuss this and they were like, what? I didn't know. So yes, let's continue.
Yeah, well, yeah, so we had a very interesting fertility journey, obviously because we're in a same-sex relationship. There's that barrier to begin with. Mm-hmm. But we tried to conceive since 2021. We tried with me first, and we decided that we wanted to use me because I was the older one, and as some people might know, the doctors are like, oh yeah, by the age of 28, your eggs are considered geriatric.
Yeah.
And I was like, panic.
Panic. There's already enough pressure. Thank you. What's the age gap between you and Amy?
2 years.
Oh, yeah. So it's minor, but it's
minor.
Still present.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we thought, we'll try it with me first because that way, you know, if I fall pregnant first, then at least we've got a little bit of time and her eggs are a bit younger.
Yep.
But unfortunately it did not take. Yeah. So in the beginning, we started trying with a known donor. So we had a known donor who was very kind and did some donations at home. Yeah. So we opted to do IUI, so intrauterine insemination at home.
Yeah. And that's just between yourself and your partner and them? There's no medical anything involved?
No medical, yeah.
Yeah.
They can be, but we chose not to just because of what I do for a living.
Yeah. And I imagine, does that just involve a turkey-based or is there a little bit more of a process?
You get these special type of syringes that have got a rounded edge on them.
Okay.
So that it's softer to go into the vaginal canal.
Yeah.
And then you just get a specimen cup. The donor does his job into the specimen cup.
His one job.
His one job,
yeah.
And then we take the specimen cup, take the syringe, suck it all up, and then insert it.
Wow.
Yes.
It's private, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's just you and... Yeah, cool. That's interesting.
Yeah. So we did that a few times with me. Mm-hmm. And actually the first donation that we did, we thought, holy crap, I'm pregnant.
Oh, really?
My period didn't come. I was having queasiness. I was having all these symptoms. And I was like, holy shit. Who knew?
It's so easy.
It's so easy.
So easy.
Why does everyone do this? But no, it turned out that I, later on, actually within the last year, we found out that I've got PCOS.
Yep.
And that was just essentially, my cycle just went stress. Okay, bye-bye. Okay. And it went hectic. And the nausea I was feeling was actually from the prenatals.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah. I was when I figured out that that's what it was, I spoke to my rep and I was like, that's pretty shit. Women trying to conceive.
Yeah.
Now they're
false hope or something.
False hope.
Yeah.
So we tried with our known donor. I only had 3 what we think were ovulations during that first year.
Wow.
And he was great. He donated all 3 times. But
did you just track your ovulation then?
Yes. So we did LH strips. We did temperature tracking. Yeah. All the things I make my patients do. Yeah. I've been there. Yeah. I've done it. Yeah. I know how much it sucks.
But it's good that you have that empathy and sympathy already and you knew that it was going to be a rough road. Yeah, that probably helped mentally because you're like, I know it sucks. It sucks for everyone. It's not just me.
That's it. Yeah. So now when I have patients who are like, it's so hard to take my temperature, it's like, girl, I know. These are the hacks I have.
Yeah, good.
Yeah. So we did the 3 tries with him and that didn't take, and then we unfortunately that donor relationship didn't quite work out. So after that, we kind of went, all right, we don't want to have a known donor so close to us.
Yep.
So we kind of branched out.
Yep.
Amy reminded me we tried an app, which was essentially like a Tinder for sperm donors.
Oh, wow. There's everything on the internet now, isn't there?
Right. But we got some really sus things through that. And like we had guys saying, I'll come donate, but can I watch you and your wife?
That's weird.
Yeah. And in my naivety, I was like, he wants to watch this, wants to watch me inseminate you? And Amy's like, no, love, no. That's not what he wants.
Do you know what? It's like the most innocent thing. That's what I would think too.
I was
like,
yeah.
how is this meant to be so gross? He's supportive.
He's supportive.
He wants the baby.
He might just be interested in medical procedures.
No, just a seedy motherfucker.
Yes.
Yeah, right.
Yes.
Oh, yuck.
Yeah. So after we had like a couple of things like that, we joined a group on Facebook called Sperm Donors Australia.
Yep.
And that was pretty good. It's very big and it's right across Australia, and people kind of post up like almost like a resume of themselves and say these are their areas, and then both either like people who are trying to conceive or donors can post up onto there.
Do you get to see pictures?
Yes.
Because through the general or the traditional IVF route, you don't get to see photos of people, do you?
Exactly.
Yeah.
We actually, I'll get to that later, but we did go down that track as well.
Okay, yep, sorry.
No, that's all right.
I get all over the show. I'm just excited.
Just all of it.
Yeah, give me all the information at one time. Don't space it out or anything.
Yeah, that's it. So you just kind of put it up. They can put up pictures of themselves.
Yep.
They can put up pictures of like themselves as babies, and then essentially people just message each other.
Yeah.
We found a guy through there that we clicked with quite well, and he again came over to our house, went into a separate room, did his thing, and then would go. But again, my cycle just wasn't working.
Yeah, okay.
At this time, we had seen a gynecologist, Rachel Green.
Yep, I saw her.
Yeah, she's pretty good.
She put in my
AD.
Yes, that was fucking horrific. I will never do that again.
Yeah.
Oh, it was before I'd had children, so it was years ago. Never again.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yes. So yeah, we saw her. She
is lovely.
She's lovely. Yeah.
It's lovely. Just the procedure that was not fun.
Yes, she's lovely, and her husband is amazing as well. And
what's his field?
I think he's the OB.
Yeah,
He's the OB with her practice.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and she put me on letrozole to try and encourage egg production to happen, and then I'd go on letrozole, try and encourage the follicles to form, and then I would go on progesterone to kind of like boost my progesterone levels up, stop the progesterone so the hormone plummets, and then it would trigger a cycle.
Oh, okay.
So it's essentially creating a bit of a cycle to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, you might cover this already. Did she know that you were doing, I can't remember, but like the private insemination, and did she try and steer you away from that, or?
No, she was actually pretty supportive. She was like, yeah, that's fine. Let's do the medical side stuff this way.
Yep.
And then if you still aren't falling pregnant, then we'll look at the other side of stuff.
Yeah, okay.
But the letrozole, for anyone who've been on letrozole, it can be pretty nasty. Lots of bloating, hormone things up and down, cramping, pain. Yeah, it's not fun. And then I got to the point, we'd done 3 rounds with this, like the letrozole cycle, 3 rounds with the donor, and I was like, I'm out. I cannot mentally do this anymore.
It's a lot.
Yes. So I've been taking and boosting fertility stuff for 1.5 years, and my body just would not respond.
Yeah.
It was just shutting it down any way it could, and I was like, come on, man.
Yeah.
Yes. And so
trying to be your own hype girl.
Right?
Yeah.
And it got to the point where I said to Amy, I was like, I cannot do this.
Yeah.
I cannot go through another cycle of the hope, the waiting, and then the crash.
Yeah.
And so at the same time, we also had a sleep study done. So I did a sleep study, and it showed that I had quite severe sleep apnea.
Oh, okay.
And my doctor was like, it would be in your best interest not to fall pregnant because of the level of your sleep apnea. If you fall pregnant, because like you might know being pregnant, everything kind of like swells, snoring gets worse.
Yeah.
She was like, your chances of stopping breathing while you're sleeping and you're pregnant escalates.
Oh, okay, I didn't.
And I was like,
that.
great. So
Fun.
thank you.
Amazing. After like 18 months of ups and downs already.
Yes.
Oh, and then that.
Yes.
That would have been heartbreaking.
It was so heartbreaking, and I felt like such a failure because I was like, I'm the practitioner. Like, I'm taking all the stuff, I'm doing the things, and it just didn't work.
And did you feel like it had helped with so many other women?
Yes.
Like, what it...
Yeah.
I don't want to put thoughts into your head, but like, why is this not working for me?
I 100%, like I said to Amy, I was like, I can get so many people pregnant.
Yeah.
But I couldn't get myself pregnant.
Yeah.
And that just, between 2021 and 2022, I got like, that sounds really weird, but like multiple people pregnant through the same thing.
Really straight. Impregnated lots of women.
Got an interesting story about that later too.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So yeah, that was really heartbreaking and incredibly defeating.
Yeah.
And we kind of we reevaluated and went, okay, do we still want kids? And we were both yes at that time.
Yeah.
By this point, I was like, now it feels like a personal thing. I'm like, I fucking want kids. Like,
yeah.
I was like,
that's the
barrier.
Yeah. I'm gonna get me some babies.
Exactly. Little did I know.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yes.
So yeah, then we just swapped over to Amy.
Yeah.
She had regular cycles.
Yeah.
She was clearly ovulating, so we could track it a lot better with her.
Yeah. Okay.
Because of where we'd stopped with me and where she was in her cycle, it was like almost like speeding through the fertility stuff because she hadn't been taking anything.
Yeah.
Because we hadn't been doing any fertility boosting stuff with her.
Yeah.
So it was like, all right, these are all your supplements, take them all at once. These are all the herbs for doing all the things. Yeah. But she was great. She was incredibly compliant.
Good on her. She's so, well, I see it from an outside perspective. Easy going.
She is.
Just like, okay, if that's what you want me to do, I'll do it. Whatever you say, I'm happy.
Yeah, she's like that, but also when she started taking the herbs, I don't know if you've ever had herbs before.
No. Oh. Let's specify herbs.
It's like a really dirty shot that you do. So if you think of like back in clubbing days, like the nastiest shot you could do, it's kind of like that.
I'm thinking Sambuca, but I enjoyed that.
Yeah, no, these you don't enjoy.
Like grass shit that you take.
Wheatgrass.
Is it like that?
Oh, look, it's like that, but with a burn behind it.
Oh, fun.
And Amy equates it to dirty flour water. That's what she says.
Flour, like
herbal,
baking
like,
flour, or
potpourri.
okay.
Yeah.
Ooh, yuck.
Yeah, but she was good. She took it all.
Yay. And she probably had seen and had been through this journey with you.
Yeah.
That she was like, right, I'll do whatever I need to,
and
like to help you and to help your relationship to achieve the goal.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, she saw like everything that we did because like I would be tensing my ovaries, I would be doing the heat pack things, I drank all these lovely soups and brews and everything to boost it. And so she was on board with doing all of that, and she did. And the donor that was still the same donor that we had with me. Yeah. He agreed to kind of change over and donate to her.
Did you have to sign a contract in that situation?
Not with him.
Yeah.
With the first donor we did, and then later on we did as well with the person who did end up being our donor.
Okay, yeah.
Yes. So this donor, after we swapped over to Amy, he ended up having to do a lot of work interstate.
Right.
And so we just missed a lot of ovulations.
Oh, yeah.
So I think he only donated twice to her, and by the end of it, the donations were looking a bit funky. So and I think it's just all the travel.
Okay.
This poor guy.
The pressure.
The pressure. And he'd been donating for like a year, so he was he'd been putting his love life on the hold for a year.
Oh wow!
And we could just tell he was done, and we were done, and we were like, just, it's fine. Just, it's all right. Go.
Yeah, you're free.
Yeah, you're free. Swim.
Swim, yeah. Like your swimmers.
Exactly. So, yeah, he went. And then this was the end of 2022. We kind of went, okay, so we've tried it the natural way. Do we go through a clinic?
Yeah.
And we went, fuck it, let's try it.
Mm-hmm.
So we had a little bit of savings at this point. So we're like, we'll put the savings towards it. Mm-hmm. We'll reevaluate depending on this.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Amy had all the tests done. She had her tubes flushed, everything like that. And the doctor said she was in peak She was just perfect.
She
was like, she was the fertility goddess.
Oh, amazing. Yeah. Excellent.
So the fertility doctor, we went through Rainbow Fertility, and they were good. We ended up choosing a sperm donor from the Seattle Sperm Bank. We were so excited for him. He was of Greek origins.
Oh, wow.
And we both love Greek everything. Yeah. So we're like, oh, little Greek baby.
Little Greek babies. Yes.
And because of my job, I can read sperm results and everything like that. And so I got a copy of his sperm results before we actually used it. Yeah. And I was like, holy shit, like, I've never seen sperm results like this before. I didn't even know that this was possible. Yeah, right. Because they were just so good. So
you got your perfect woman and your perfect sperm.
Yeah, I was like, no way this could fail, right?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So we went in to do the, it was also an IUI that we did. We didn't do IVF or ICSI. We just did the clinic IUI. So essentially, same thing that I do at home, we just did in the clinic setting.
Yep.
And in saying that, I got to be there when they did the injection of the sperm, insemination of the sperm. I was like, the injection?
Yeah, the injection?
Yeah. When they did the thing with the sperm, and so I was like watching intently. I was like, did I do something wrong?
Yeah.
Like, what's
were you asking for tips?
I was watching I was like, can I see this syringe, please? Yes.
Oh, I get in there too.
Yeah. And so
you know when, like, and you sometimes do it with children, like,
just guide
that's right. You'll put your hand on their hand or vice versa and do it along with them to, like, feel into it. That would have been so funny. I'm sure that it was unprofessional, but it would have been very funny.
Yeah, and Amy, because I was, like, behind the doctor, and Amy was watching my face the whole time, and when the doctor left, she was like, you were so intently looking up my vagina. I was
more than normal, thank you. Where's all that love and attention normally?
So, we did the, what was it called? Transfusion. Insemination.
Insemination.
Already forgot. We did the insemination, and it was unmedicated for her because she was obviously ovulating and everything like that properly, but she did have a trigger shot to just make sure that she was, like, going to drop an egg.
Yeah.
So she did the trigger shot, and it was the Overdrol, just the HCG trigger shot.
Yeah.
And then it was just a waiting game. So the trigger shot can take 14 days to clear it out of your system. Within that 14 days, you can still test positive, but it's a fake positive.
Right.
Because it's HCG.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So we didn't know that at the time. Or put it this way, I knew that, but I'd forgot that.
Yeah.
And so we went for a walk one day, and she was more fatigued than normal. She was, like, having shortness of breath, and I was like, interesting.
Yeah.
And so when we got home from the walk, I said, oh, look, let's just do a pregnancy test just in case.
Yeah.
And we were 9 days post trigger.
Yeah.
And it popped up positive, and we were like, holy shit, it's actually happening. We were really excited. And then as we were getting excited, something in my brain clicked. I was like, wait a minute. Yeah. And I was like, wait, how far are we away from the trigger shot? And then I worked it out. I was like, whoa. You know, some people do clear it really fast. Some people, it can take that 14 days.
Yeah.
So I was like, we'll test it out from here. Yeah. And it just got lighter and lighter and lighter, and then she bled.
Oh.
And we were like, holy crap, we just spent $6,000 for you to bleed it out.
Oh.
So that was so defeating.
Yeah, after everything.
Yeah. Yep. And everything looked perfect.
Yeah.
So it was that thing of like, whoa, what's going on?
Yeah.
So we then kind of went, okay, this has been like, at that point, 2 years of just hell. Hopes getting dashed all the time. It definitely put a big strain on our relationship as well by that point, because now we didn't just have the fertility strain, we had the financial strain on top of that. And we were like, what do we do? And we started looking into adoption. So we started looking into what's involved with adoption in Australia, what's involved with adoption internationally, and we were kind of going, okay, let's start putting some feelers out. And the day that we kind of decided we'll put feelers out for adoption stuff, we just went to catch up with some people, and we got nice and wasted and were telling these people about what's going on and like just how shit it is. Like the vial of sperm we got 0.5 mils was $1,700. I was like, oh, and then you have to pay $1,000 for them to clean the sperm.
Oh wow.
Yes.
So how do they clean from it?
I don't know. That's what I was like. I was like, what are you taking out? Can I clean it?
Yeah. I've got a scrubby brush. I've got a scrub daddy. Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, right.
So, we were essentially bitching about it. And we had told these people we're catching up with, we're like, we think we're done. Like, we're going to look into adoption. If that doesn't take, we're going to live our perfect dink lives.
Yeah.
And just travel. And we've got two fur babies. Yeah. Just love, sorry, forget about the cat all the time.
The cat.
Yes. Yeah. And we'll just love up on them.
Yeah.
And then we went home, and later on, one of the people that was at the catch up messaged us and was like, why don't we just do this together? And we were like, we were very hesitant to begin with because of our history with the previous known donor. Yeah. So we were like, we don't want this to impact a relationship that, it was just complicated. And we were like, we don't know. And then Amy and I spoke about it and we were like, fuck it, like, what have we got to lose? Mm-hmm. These people were great. They helped set up like a proper donor agreement and an NDA and everything like that, which is why I'm very vague with how we're mentioning things.
That's fine. Yeah, of course. There's privacy involved in all of these things.
Exactly, And it was great. And we just went kind of, fuck it. Amy was due to ovulate 2 weeks later. Yeah. And we went, okay, we'll just try. The donor brought the stuff over. Yeah. We did the insemination a little bit different this time. So we also got like a little cup thing, to insert afterwards. And we also...
Like a pessary?
Like a disc. It was like a moon cup.
Yeah.
Or a period.
Cup. Yeah.
But like a flat one.
Oh.
Yes. So it's meant to kind of like help like keep the sperm in.
Yeah, okay. Yes. That makes sense though.
Yeah.
You want it in there for as long as it can, coming out.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, and I mean, with all of the inseminations that we did, we call them transfusions. With all the inseminations we did acupuncture and everything like that, but I'd never done it straight away.
Right, okay.
Whereas this time we were like, okay, we did like the pelvis tilt, we did the insemination, we did the disc in, I did acupuncture straight away, while she was lying there. Yeah. And we had Macca's chips delivered. Yeah, because we read the Macca's chips like help with implantation and all that stuff. I don't know. It worked, clearly.
It's the Macca's chips. It's the Macca's None of the other stuff that you did. Just those chippies. Did you have Macca's chips at any time?
Of course I did that.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So we did that. And we also used wild yam cream with her, which is a natural progesterone booster. Mm-hmm. And
where do you rub that?
On your belly.
Yeah, okay.
So, you can rub it on your belly, on your thighs, any fatty parts that you have, anywhere so your fat helps to produce estrogen, and it also helps with the other hormones and things like that. So we just put it anywhere that there was little fat bits for her.
Just bath in it.
Yeah. So we did the insemination, we did the acupuncture, and then just went about our life normally. Yeah. That following weekend, we were going away for Amy's work conference thing, and she was like, do you think I'm pregnant? And I was like, I don't know. And I was so defeated at this point. I was like, probs not.
Yeah.
It's like, let's be honest. Fate has not been in our favour.
Yeah.
So, we just kind of like took it easy. She had 1 or 2 drinks, and then about a week and a half later, she was like, my period's late. And I was like, could just be stress.
Yeah.
She'd just started a new job.
Yeah.
So I was like, it's probably just stress.
Yeah.
Life.
Yeah, life.
And she was like, she did a pregnancy test, and I couldn't see it. Like, it was like, it looked like an indentation line.
Yeah.
And she was like, that could be a positive. And I was like, I don't think so.
Yeah.
That's just a bend in the stick.
No, my husband, I showed him our like first pregnancy test and he's like, I'm sorry, there's nothing there. Yeah. And I was like, fuck you. I went and got another pregnancy test.
That's pretty much what she did.
Okay, good.
So she went to work, bought a digital pregnancy test.
That's what I did, yeah.
Did it in a service station bathroom.
Good on her.
And then she sent me a photo and I'm in clinic treating a patient and she first tried to call me and she knows I'm with patients and I was like, you don't call me unless it's like an emergency.
Yeah.
And so the patient's talking to me and I'm like, what the fuck's going on? And I'm like, okay. And I'm like, all right, cool. Let's get you up on the table. I'll put some needles in. And then the patient's on the table. I open up my phone. I'm like, what's happening? And she sends me a photo. And it's like 2 to 3 weeks pregnant. And I was like, bullshit.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so that's how we fell pregnant.
How distracting for you in work.
That was it.
Yeah.
I was like,
I'm just pulling my needles out, get off, go home. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, so that was our pregnancy journey.
Yeah.
She was a trooper. We made an appointment with our doctor probably about 2 weeks later. Oh, first thing I did though was I sent her to go get HCG tests because I can refer for blood tests.
Yeah, right.
So I was like, I don't fully believe it.
Yeah.
So I'll send you for blood tests. She did the blood test and then I made her do another HCG test 2 days later because I was like,
all the tests.
Damn.
Yeah.
And yeah, it kept increasing. But at no point did it look like twin levels.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So that just goes to show if your HCG isn't through the roof, it could still be multiples. Yeah. And if it is through the roof, it could still be a singleton.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, we then just made an appointment, just a regular thing. Made an appointment with the doctor, got referrals for the scans, got referrals for, like, the further blood tests and things. And as we pulled up for the scan, we were like, wouldn't it be hilarious if it's twins?
Yeah.
And she was like, it would be. That week though, she'd had a dream that it was twins. Yeah. Yes. Now when she dreams things, we take them very seriously.
Yeah, understandably. I would be the same. Maybe she'll have a dream about me.
So yeah, she had a dream that it was twins. We rocked up to the ultrasound, and as the guy's doing the ultrasound, I'm at the back like secretly recording.
Yeah.
And he goes over, and so because I'm watching, and I'm like, that doesn't look right. And I was like, I don't think she had 2 uteruses.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, that's weird. And I was like, and the gestation sac shouldn't be that big already. Anyways, then the guy goes, okay, because he'd been quite nice and chatty, and then he just went quiet. And I was like, do I keep recording?
Yeah, yeah, of course. Like, have you gone quiet for good news or bad news?
That's it.
Yeah.
Is this memory we're going to want to expunge from our life?
Yeah, of course.
So he goes, all right, so not many people are ever really ready to hear this. And I was like, she's lost the baby.
Yeah.
And then he's like, I can see 2 gestation sacs. And I was like, what?
Yeah.
And then he's like, what does that mean?
What?
And he goes, so that means twins. And she goes, fucking called it. And
yeah.
You just hear me in the background going, holy shit.
Oh my God, that's so cute though that you managed to capture that point.
Yeah.
Oh.
And then he's still recording and like going through, he's like, everything looks great. And then you just hear me like hyperventilate because then everything sets in and I was like, shit, that's like extra things. Now it's 2 cots.
Yeah.
And I'm like, holy crap.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was a big shock. But yeah, so then she had a pretty alright pregnancy. Just towards the end, she just got really bad pubic symphysis.
Yeah.
And had to go on mat leave early.
Yeah.
But besides from that, she was great. I don't know if you ever saw Amy pregnant. She didn't look like she was carrying twins.
Oh, good on her.
Yeah.
No. I think the first time I met either of you was when you, or when she, but
yeah,
came along as well, did my boot camps.
Yeah, yeah.
Only a couple of weeks or months ago now.
Yeah. Yeah, so she didn't look like she was carrying twins. You wouldn't think it. And from the back, you wouldn't think she was pregnant.
Yeah, yeah.
It was just all like, we don't
like
even know where.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So, yeah, that was our little pregnancy journey and our little fertility journey. Yeah. She carried all the way up until 40 weeks.
Wow, for twins. That's excellent.
Twins. Yeah. And, I mean, everyone was telling us, OBs, everybody were telling us that it would be, like, 32, 34 weeks max.
Yeah.
So prepare.
Yeah.
And we're like, fuck. Yeah.
Too and early.
Yeah. So we were doing all the prep work for that.
Yeah.
But then, she went all the way to 40 weeks.
That's amazing.
Waters broke naturally.
Wow. She is just a pregnancy goddess, isn't she?
Right. Then she went into labour, and labour didn't, contractions didn't quite start properly, but the waters had broken really nicely.
Yeah.
So we ended up going into the mother a little bit earlier than what we'd intended. And by that point she was like, I am done. Let's get the babies out.
Yeah.
So she opted to get the Syntocin drip.
Yep.
And just to kind of help move things along. But that was it. She didn't have any pain relief.
Gosh.
She breathed them out. Both born vaginally, 20 minutes apart.
Wow.
Yeah. First one, she pushed for, I think it was 55 minutes.
God.
And he just had a huge head.
Yeah.
Yeah. And her ball birth canal were like, what is going on? Yeah. And then the second one, we were really lucky they were both head down.
That is, oh my God.
At one point during her pregnancy, one was breech and the other one was head down. Yeah. But we again did acupuncture and flipped them the right way.
Yeah. Just through acupuncture? Or did you do baby flipping as well?
No, we just did acupuncture.
Wow. The power of acupuncture.
Right? Because I'd never flipped twins before. I'd flipped singletons, and one was in the right position.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah.
I messaged my colleagues. I was messaging my colleagues. I was like, how do you
do one?
Do I do one side?
Yeah.
Like, what do I do? And all of them were like, we don't know, but take notes and let us know how you go. Yeah. So we flipped them both. Managed to flip them both head down. The second bub was just up a little bit high, so they went in, broke his waters, and then he was out with 3 pushes.
Jeez Louise.
Yeah, so she was incredible. Yeah. She's a pretty awesome woman. I'm always impressed by how well she does.
Oh, that's amazing. I love that.
Yeah, so that was our pregnancy and birth story and everything. I knew that I wanted to breastfeed from the get-go. And so from the moment that we knew that she was pregnant, I was like, right, I want to breastfeed. But I didn't want to go through the whole medical route of doing it, just because I've been on oral contraception before. Oh man, not a nice person on it. The hormone, yes. And so I was like, I don't want to go down that road. I remember back in uni, they were telling us about it is possible to do it with herbs. And then I also know with acupuncture it is, but even my lecturers were like, it's so rare that you will get to that point. And it was really interesting because one of my reps actually still has contact with one of the lecturers I had in uni, and she was like a big herby lecturer. And when we found out Amy was pregnant and I told my rep I want to induce lactation, she messaged that lecturer and was like, any tips, anything like that? And even the lecturer said, I've never had anyone successfully do this.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
it's a lot of pressure. And
so even the lecturer was like, tell her to keep notes and let us know how she goes.
And the fact that no one had ever done it that she'd known, that wasn't a deterrent for you to be like, oh well, fuck it, like what's the point?
Well,
were you like, nah, fuck it, I'm gonna do it?
Yeah, I was like, I'm just gonna see what happens. What have I got to lose? And there's a book written about how to induce lactation without the medical stuff, just using herbs and acupuncture and stimulation and massage stuff. So I was like, it can be done. Someone's written a book, so clearly it's right.
That's right. It's not a fantasy.
Exactly. I'm not making this up.
It's like massage and dragons.
Exactly.
Herbs and fairies.
So I was like, all right, well, what have I got to lose? So I did all my research on the different herbs that I needed. Luckily, because of my work, I could order them all in. So I ordered them all in and I created the herbal tinctures for myself. And we started at the mid to end of July. So we were anticipating the boys to come November, because that was about that 32, 36 weeks. So I was like, the sooner I can start, the better. And the whole process with inducing lactation, if you're the non-birthing parent, is you've got to build breast tissue up that can then make milk. And it doesn't normally do that.
I was going to say, that would be also different to just having large breasts, though.
Exactly.
Just because you have large breasts doesn't mean that you have breastfeeding tissue.
Exactly. So it's a completely different tissue, and it felt so different too.
Yeah.
So we started on the herbs, and 2 weeks on the herbs, I said to him, it's like, my boobs are so sore.
Yeah.
Like, even just wearing a shirt hurt.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, it can't be. Like, it's 2 weeks. Like, anyways. And I went to have a massage, and I was like, I cannot lie face down. Like, it's so tender. It's more than just premenstrual tension tender.
Yeah, yeah.
And I was feeling around. I was like, yeah, no, it definitely, like, the tissue feels different. I was like, all right, maybe something's happening.
Yeah.
So we just
2
kept
weeks
up with it. Yeah. So we kept up with it. We did a month. So you do a month just on the herbs and nutrition.
Yep.
And just gentle massage. So we started on that. Then I met with a great lactation consultant, Mel Tapping. She was excellent. She came over. She was like, I've never heard of anyone doing it your way, so keep notes and let me know how you go.
Yeah,
like,
everyone's along for the ride.
Right.
Even me now that it's post.
Pressure.
Yeah.
And she showed us how to use, so she said to me, yeah, you're doing everything right.
Yeah.
You just need to now introduce the stimulation.
Yeah.
So then we started with the nipple stimulation, and we used the Spectra pump.
Yep.
Yep. So, because I asked her, I was like, is there a different pump? And she's like, no, you don't want to muck around with this, because you're essentially trying to get milk out of something that should not be producing milk.
Yeah.
She goes,
shouldn't be producing it. It's unnecessary, isn't it, right
yeah,
now?
Well, yeah. My breasts were like, we're not really supposed to be doing this.
Where's the baby?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
So she was like, so you want to go a good pump, like a good quality pump that's hospital grade, can pull out what it needs to pull out. So she helped us. We had a Spectra that we got. She got the fittings properly, and that was a big thing that I learned later on, was how important it is to get the correct nipple like inserts for your pump. Yeah, okay. Because holy cow, it was so uncomfortable, and it wasn't as effective if the sizing of the phalange was not correct.
Right, okay.
Yeah. So when we did, at our first visit, she kind of helped me like position the pump on and everything, and we did just a quick little pump then.
Yep.
And it already produced some stuff coming out.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And at first I was like, oh, is that like grease from the pump? and
was it yellow then?
No, it was like a greeny, I think I saw a picture somewhere. Yeah, it was like a greeny, browny textured colour.
Oh, right.
Almost that you could think, oh, it might just be like some cream or maybe some greasy,
Yeah, right, okay.
And Mel was like, I don't think that's grease. I think
that's yours.
Your milk, yeah.
You made that.
She's like, that's just your pumps, like your pipes clearing out.
I would 100% think the same thing. Oh, what a weird machine. No, that's you.
So she was like, yeah, no, that's all you.
Yeah, fun.
Okay. So then we introduced the pumping side of stuff.
Yeah.
That was hectic.
Yeah.
So I had to pump 8 times a day.
Oh, wow.
One of those times had to be at nighttime because your prolactin level, like between 12 and 5 a.m.
Yeah.
Because your prolactin's the highest at that point.
Yeah.
And I do not like waking up like that to pump.
No.
So, I mean, that's changed now with the twins.
True.
Now it's just,
True.
But yeah, so I did a lot of pumping, and I would do pumping in between patients and before and after work multiple times. And we got to end of October, and we were getting like decent amounts starting to come out. Enough to be collecting it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it wasn't like what beautiful pregnant mamas can produce, like the containers full.
Yeah.
But we're talking like 10 to 20 mils at a time, which was, I was like,
yeah, that's amazing. Yeah. From zero.
Right?
Yeah.
So we did that, and then I got COVID. So got COVID at the beginning of November, and we were so paranoid about the boys coming and me having COVID that I was like, I'm not risking it. Went to the doctor, got antivirals. Went on the antivirals, did not realise they were going to dry up my milk supply.
Oh my God.
So all the hard work I'd done, I went from making about 20 meals to nothing. And it was, oh man, I tell you, like, I said to Amy, I was like, what am I doing wrong? Like, am I changing the patterns? Like, have I been taking the wrong herbs? Like, what's going on? And then I went back to see my doctor because we were then essentially on a time crunch. We were like, okay, well, we have maybe 2 weeks until the boys are here. Like, I wanted to be able to breastfeed them by this point. And the doctor was like, it would have been the antivirals. She goes, if you took antivirals or, like the Sudafed and things like that, they dried up.
Yeah, I have allergies and I didn't realise that they dry up all your mucus or fluids that are released everywhere from head to toe. Yeah.
So I spoke to my doctor and she was like, you already have the breast tissue. So the breast tissue is there. Yeah. We just need to encourage the milk production again. Yeah. And I was like, okay. And she's like, look, I know you wanted to do it all natural, but how about you go on domperidone? Yeah. She goes, just to get it going, once it's going, you can swap back onto the herbs and maintain it that way. And she said, once the boys are there and the boys are feeding, you'll be like, that will help as well. And so I went, okay, cool. We did that. We went on domperidone and increased the dose quite rapidly. That definitely brought the milk production back, but the effects on my mental health were nuts.
From the fact that you had to take a tablet, or just the effects that the tablet were having on your mental health?
The effects of the tablet on my mental health.
Yeah, okay.
So to induce lactation, you have to increase your prolactin levels. Yep. And prolactin and dopamine are they work against each other. So when prolactin goes up, dopamine goes down. Dopamine's our reward hormone. So my reward hormone went down, and that kind of carries with it that happy feeling. That went down. And I was like, it's just because I'm working a lot. It's just because it's a stressful time. We've passed the 36 weeks, so it was like any time could be baby time. And
a lot of pressure.
And so I went, it's all right, we'll just keep going. We were really lucky in the fact that we had a fantastic midwife through New Life Midwifery. Yep. And Yanni, who was our midwife, was really good. She kept a very close eye on me, which was great. I didn't realize why she was keeping a very close eye on me until the boys came. And I mean, when the boys came, it was so great because after they were born, I could breastfeed them. Yeah. So
Did you and Amy breastfeed for the first time at the same time?
Yes.
Yeah.
So she got to breastfead Arlo first. I got to breastfeed Atreus first. Yeah. So it's really interesting because Arlo has a better bond with Amy and Atreus has a better bond with me.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, so the first 2 hours of his life, he got to breastfeed from me.
Yeah. And then you just swap?
Yeah. Then we just swapped it over. And Yanni was great. She helped us get the latches right and everything like that.
That's amazing.
Yeah. And we have a picture of us in the hospital. I'm on the big chair thing. Amy's in the bed, and we've each got a baby and a toasted cheese sandwich in the hand.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah. If you had a single one baby, would you have still tried to breastfeed?
Yeah, 100%.
And then you would have just shared that?
Yeah. 100%. It was always something that I wanted to do, especially because now we've come to the decision not to have any more kids. Yep. So I'm all about experiencing everything in life.
Yeah, I agree.
And so I was like, well, I won't get to experience pregnancy, so I'd love to experience breastfeeding. Yeah. And so that's why I was like, doesn't matter if it was a singleton, quads, please no.
Yes. Can you imagine, both of you, one on each breast? Yeah. Oh my God, the work and the washing.
Yeah. So we breastfed. We both breastfed for a month solidly. Yep. During that first month, and a lot of new parents might know, especially that first 2 weeks, it's rough. You're in the trenches.
The cluster feeding. That's what I remember. I remember saying to Harry, something wrong with her. Yeah. she won't stop crying unless she's feeding. Yeah. I messaged my friend, and she was like, "Yep, cluster feeding."
That's it. Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Insane and intense.
Yes. Intense. Yeah. And Amy's milk didn't come in straight away.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So her milk took 3 days to properly come in. Yeah. And that's very common if you've had the Syntocin drip.
Yeah.
And yeah, so her milk didn't come in straight away, so they were getting a fair bit from me, but there was the pressure on me.
Yeah.
Luckily, we did also have, like, because we've been pumping Amy and, like, collecting colostrum since week 32.
Yeah,
which
pumping Amy.
Yeah.
Come on, Amy.
Come on, line it up. Yeah. Pump on each.
Yeah.
She, which normally we don't recommend that you start pumping or anything that early.
Because it can induce labour.
Yes.
Yeah.
Theoretically. But because Amy, we thought bubbles were coming early, we're like, well, fuck it, we got to do it anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we had quite a good stock of colostrum in the fridge that we were working through.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, all the pressure was on me to breastfeed.
Yeah.
Which was fine. It was fine. It was a lot. Yeah. And the boys were just, they were rough. I was very naive.
Yeah. Who isn't, though?
Oh, mate. Like, I have often said, if I had known what I know now, I would have been like, nope, I'm out, bye.
Yeah, see, Amy, milk yourselves.
Yes. That's it. It was, the first, like, little while was really rough, and the boys were very cryy.
Yeah.
And we found out, too, they had quite bad tongue and lip ties.
Yeah, okay.
Luckily though, because we were aware of that, we got them dealt with really early.
Yeah.
And so that improved their latch, which then helped with the crying.
Yeah.
It's less than crying.
Yeah.
But I remember, because Yanni was great, she came and did postpartum checks at home.
Yeah.
We were like day 5, and I said to her, is it normal for them to cry this much, like all the time? And she's like, yep.
Yeah.
She goes, you're just in the hard points. Yeah. It gets better. Just, you're at the bottom now. It comes out. But I remember being like, I can't do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry.
No, that's okay.
Yeah. It was really rough.
Yeah.
And it got to the point where I was taking high doses of the domperidone as well as the herbs. And my mental health was so far down.
Yeah. We can pause.
It's alright.
Okay.
And one night I remember sitting up and I was like, I can't do this.
Yeah.
I was like, it's not that I can't do the babies or the relationship, I can't do life.
Yeah.
And I mentioned to Amy, I said, I can see why so many people would leave or commit suicide in this first bit because I'm there.
Yeah.
And there's one day I could not stop crying.
Yeah.
And like sobbing from the soul.
Yeah.
And my mum came over. And at this time my dad was really sick in hospital. But Amy called my mum because she was like, Synta's not doing okay. And I'm scared for her. Mm-hmm. And my mum came over and I remember mum sitting on the couch. And I said to mum, because I'm Christian as well, I said to mum, I don't understand why God won't come get me.
Oh.
Because I don't want to be here.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah. And so, like, it got to the point where I was making plans. And we had an appointment with Yanni. And you know, you keep everything together. And then she looked at me and she's like, how are you? And that was it.
Yeah.
Everything came out. And Yanni was like, stop the medication. She goes, it's the medication doing this to you, stop it.
Yeah.
And I was like, but I want to breastfeed. And she goes, you'll be more help for the boys and for Amy if you were there.
Yeah.
Than what you are killing yourself trying to breastfeed.
Yeah.
So we made the decision to stop breastfeeding. So we got a good month out of it. And it was almost immediate, the change.
Yeah.
So by the next day I said to Emma, I was like, holy crap, the pressure that feels like it's lifted off my brain is
I can feel like your relief.
Yeah.
Like right now, even just saying that point in your story, I can physically feel your relief.
Yeah. It was a lot.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's great that I got to experience that because now I can watch for that with my patients.
Yeah.
And the other thing that this whole ordeal taught me was everyone looks at the mum not many people look at the birthing partner.
Whether that be male or female.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And we don't have the hormones that the mums do to connect with the baby, and I struggled with connection with the boys.
Yeah.
Especially when I was in that deep state where I was like, I cannot look at them. I didn't want to touch them.
Yeah, okay.
Because I was like, every time I held them, I was like, I hate you so much. And it's really hard now.
No, it's understandable.
Yeah.
And then you feel guilt.
So much guilt.
Yeah.
Because this is what we wanted, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, this is what you wanted. This is what you asked for. This is what you prayed for.
Yeah.
Why aren't you happy?
Yeah.
And so that was really hard to work through. But it made me go for all my pregnant women who come in and postpartum. I always tell them, check on your partner.
Yeah.
Because you don't know what's going on underneath.
Yeah.
Because Amy knew to a degree, and I mean, Amy and I have a really close relationship, so I could be very open with her about all of this, but she didn't know how close I was getting to it, how close I was getting to ending my life.
Yeah.
And yeah, when after I came out of it, she was like, that was the scariest time for me.
Yeah.
She goes, because I was like, I don't know if I'll have you there to help me with the boys in the future. Yeah, so that was probably a very big lesson.
Yeah.
Yeah, a very big experience that I didn't want to experience.
Yeah.
But I'm grateful I got to experience as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now that it's 11 months on...
Yep.
And you can look back on that experience, how do you feel about it?
In this 11 months, I've also gone through a diagnosis of ADHD.
Yeah.
And autism, and I was like, so that added to all of that.
Yeah.
And I can kind of look back and go, I wasn't coping because all of these factors were impacting.
Yeah.
And so it was kind of like, there was no hope because I didn't have the right support systems in place because I didn't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. If I had known that I had autism and ADHD, I mean, you suspect, but if I'd have known that properly.
Yeah, I've seen, undiagnosed, but pretty sure.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
If I'd have known properly, I would have had better support systems in place.
Yeah.
And I'm a massive advocate for herbs, nutrition, all of that stuff, but sometimes medication plays a role.
Yeah.
And I've since gone on some medication, and it's really helped. And it's made me, I've built a better bond with the boys, and I can play with them now.
When you say medication, is that for ADHD or is it for antidepressants?
Yeah, so ADHD.
Yeah.
So I went on medication for ADHD, and actually the way it quieted my mind and took away the anxiety, I was like, holy shit, there's only one tab open, not 1,000 tabs. Yeah.
God, I know that. Yeah.
It's very different to what I was used to.
Yeah.
But it gives me clarity to be able to be there for Amy and be there for the boys and be present.
Yeah.
Without resentment, which was big. Because before I would be like, there's 1,000 things I need to do. Whereas now I can be like, it's okay. I can be here with you.
Yeah.
And I can form these bonds. I can watch as you take your first steps. I can be there as you feed the dog the dinner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And do you ever have points where you feel those feelings creeping back in, or do you feel like that's a part that's moved, like you've moved on from there, it's in the past now?
Oh, look, occasionally those moments do creep in.
Yeah.
Not like what they did.
Yeah.
So that was
overbearing.
Overbearing, all-consuming.
Yeah.
Whereas now, sometimes when things get a little bit overwhelming, it actually hasn't been as bad since I've been on the medication.
Yep.
Before the medication, when things got really overwhelming, sometimes those thoughts would creep in, but never to the point where planning was involved again.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Whereas now...
How far had you planned?
Like all the way.
Right, okay.
Yeah. It was kind of like, we'd gotten to the point where I was like, if I did it on a Friday, at least I knew that her parents could be there for her because they'd have the time off work.
Shit.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it was like to that degree.
Yeah, okay.
And yeah, so it was a very, very dark time and I'm glad I didn't.
Yeah.
Because I would have missed a lot.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, thank you so much for sharing your story with me and being so vulnerable.
Sorry, I cried.
No, it's really beautiful. I always feel really honoured when people feel comfortable enough to open up to me and share their story.
Yeah.
So thank
you for having me.
No, thank you so much.